Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about technology and media in everyday life and related to the documentary that is called The Social Dilemma. At first, we're going to talk about, we will introduce you to the topic, talk about what this topic is about. Then we'll talk about why we chose social media as a studied piece of technology. And then we'll talk about three concepts about the impact of technology on the social dilemma. And then we'll conclude everything we said in this presentation. So the use of technology and media takes place in the context of relationships, and our knowledge of technology and media can be best developed through a relational perspective and by examining their use in everyday life. Each technology changes how people communicate and interact. The one constant among all technologies is that they are inherently relational in their understanding and use.
So next, we will talk about why we should use social media as our piece of study. So social media are playing an important role in our daily lives. We can see that social media helps us to stay in contact with our family and friends. They entertain us and they also provide us with information. And because of this, social media have a large database of our information and our behavior. And this has raised some ethical concerns about users' privacy, surveillance, and manipulation. And we'll look at social media from three perspectives of technological determinism, social construction of technology, and social shaping of technology.
So, technological determinism is the belief that technologies determine social structure, cultural values, and even how we think and behave. In the documentary, the interviewers, especially Harris, the former employee of Google, show how people are manipulated. Users are seen as subjects of social media's algorithms. Each of the action of the users are watched and calculated carefully so that their behavior can be predicted and monitored. Moreover, users are seen as products rather than human beings on social media. Their attention to the social media is the product that developers sell to the third parties. Harris said that social media is not simply a tool to use, but has its own goal and use psychology against its users. To conclude, users' behavior is manipulated so that the social platforms can profit from them.
Second is social construction of technology. The abbreviation is SCOT. People determine the development of technology, and therefore we also determine our own social structure and cultural value. There are a lot of factors needed to develop technology, such as human innovation and creativity, economics, and government's regulation. This basically means that the power of technology is in our own hands. We decide how to use technology, how it develops, and how the society sees it. Exploiting data, as said in the social dilemma. We think that we are the consumers of social media, that we decide on what we click and what we want to see. But this is not true. Social media is competing for our attention. Our attention is the product being sold to advertisers. The advertisers need certainty. If their ads are seen, it is successful to them. Great predictions are needed for this certainty, and therefore a lot of data is used. They keep track of what we humans do. The business model has to make sure that advertisers are as successful as possible. It is a market that exclusively trades in human futures. Responsibility. Companies create the business models where it is extremely important how much time they can get from us. How long do we look at an Instagram post? How long does it take for us to scroll further when we see an ad? They optimize their ads to our liking so we look at them more often. Is it bad that they can do this without the users being aware of it? The companies never take responsibility for these kind of actions because it is unknown to a lot of people that it happens. I feel like this is where the government should step in. They have to think of something that it makes it almost impossible to adjust everyone their smartphone usage to their likings. We only get to see what we find interesting, which can divide people more than we are aware of.
Finally, I would like to talk about the social shaping of technology. This theory relates to the belief that people and technology both exert influence on social structure and cultural values. Relating this to the film The Social Dilemma, we can see that at the end of this film, there is a message conveyed that social media should be made to be more humane towards its users. So this is the case because the extraction of users' data has been a norm in technology industry. And some argue that this extraction is unethical because users' privacy should be respected and, of course, their behavior should not be manipulated. Moreover, um, users are not aware that the data is being collected, while social media developers are making profit from those data. And we can see that in this case, a cultural value, which is ethics of social media, is being influenced by the technology itself as well as the people. So ethics of social media needs to be reconsidered, and it is apt to change in the future. So finally, we come to the conclusion about the three theories that technology has the ability to influence people's behavior because it involves in many parts of our daily life. Secondly, technology is a product of humans' needs. Therefore, its development it depends on our creativity and innovation. And finally, although technology can regulate social structure, cultural value, and even how we think, it is our responsibility and our agency to resist or adjust that influence.